Hello, Highlands. Today I want to share with you what I believe to be the most difficult aspect of leadership. But before we do that, we're going to look at how Paul was a leader. All of us can be leaders. We're leaders in our homes, with our neighbors, with our co-workers, our friends. But how did Paul do it? In Acts 20, he says this, "You yourselves know how I've lived among you the whole time, from the first day that I set foot in Asia, serving the Lord with all humility, with all tears and trials that happened to me through the plots of the Jews. How I did not shrink from declaring to you anything that was profitable, and teaching you in public from house to house." So as a leader, Paul, first of all, was with the people. He says in verse 19 of Acts 20, that he was there from the first day that he set foot in Asia with them. They could see how he lived his life. He saw how they lived their lives. And as a leader, he was beside them day by day. Secondly, we see that he led through service. He goes on to say, "Serving the Lord with all humility and tears through the trials that happened to me." So he was a leader that served others. He put other people's interests above his own interests. In humility, he led people, not with arrogance. He did it with compassion, because we see that he had tears at times. He saw the pain, the troubles that they were facing. He knew the troubles he was facing. And at times, it's just heartbreaking. Because he was with people, he knew people, and was able to serve people. And lastly, he says, "How I did not shrink from declaring to you anything that was profitable, and teaching you in public from house to house." Paul, as a leader, did not shrink back from telling people what they needed to hear about Jesus Christ. You think about your own life, and I think about my life. Sometimes, we know God is prompting us in a conversation or in a moment that we need to take the conversation and turn it in the direction of Jesus, but we kind of shrink back. Maybe we shrink back from giving some godly advice. Paul was not that type of leader. He had that courage to do that. So what is it that I think is the most difficult aspect of leadership? It's leading yourself. Many people have said that the toughest person to lead is yourself, and I agree with that. I think that if we're going to be the type of leader that Paul was, we need to make sure we're grounded in the Word of God so that we don't shrink back when the opportunity presents itself. We have a foundation of faith that's able to share with other people. We are leading ourselves to be humble servant leaders. Humility is a hard one for us. We get wrapped up in our own lives and we struggle with pride. We need to lead ourselves in that way. And we also need to lead ourselves to be with people. We all know that to be the most effective as a leader, it comes from being with people. Being far off and distant, people realize you don't understand what it's like for them. We want to be with people, and so we need to lead ourselves in that way as well. So we have the opportunity to lead people, not just during these days and the days ahead, but to lead them with an eternal perspective. We can tell them about Jesus, we can point them towards Jesus, and we do it through the way we live our life, so that the impact that we can make in people's lives is focused on what matters for eternity and not what matters for here and now.